What's going on, Future Corp fans? This is Bernie here along with Pete. And welcome to Gimmick Cast episode number 3. Today what we got on the agenda is Made in TYO, Better Than Uzi. Is Cardi B's album the most anticipated album for Peter over here? And is there a Kanye and Kid Cudi collab on the way? Also, what we're going to be talking about is what we like in WWE storylines and wrestling. Then we're going to be going on to a little bit of FIFA 18 player reactions, what we liked, what we disliked, and some controversial statements there, along with some other video game talk. And then, of course, we couldn't go a week without talking about it. Of course, we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super, but one of us thinks that it's the lamest episode ever. Is it? Let's find out now.
Alright, first things first, guys, we're going to jump in. Some music stuff. We're going to be talking about Made in TYO, Mr. Tokyo, a.k.a. Just put out his new album. It's called True's World. Honestly, I was not expecting anything from it. I listened to it for the mere fact that he was on the XXL freshman list.
Okay.
He was, other than Cardi, he was the worst out of everybody, easily, because all his freestyles were him repeating the same line over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I've never listened to any music from him other than that one single he had that got really popular. But I don't even remember what it was called. He's kind of forgettable. But this new album, I listened to it just, first album after being an XXL freshman, just to see what it was like. And I'll tell you what, it's not bad. His production is pretty good. I think he produces for himself, like his own beats. Okay. Because he used to produce for Big Sean, I believe.
Oh, wow.
But he suffers from the same thing as Freestyles did. It's very, samey. He just says the same thing a lot in all his music. But it's only 7 songs long, which I think it benefited from greatly because I can listen to maybe 6 of the songs. There's one that's a slow track that I don't like. His voice is just not good enough to do a slow track. But the rest of it is kind of just short enough that it's all relatively listenable. It's, in my opinion, like we said the question, it's better than Uzi's album for me, for sure. Just because it's not 20 songs long. I'm sure if Uzi's album was 7 songs long, and that he chose the 7 best songs that were on EXO Tour Life or whatever. Is that the name of the album? Or no, Love is Rage 2. Excuse me. That would have been a better album, but it's just it's all the same stuff over and over again. I just can't even listen to it. This is his production is good. His lyrics are the same as every other rapper right now. So it's just you're listening to it for the production, right? But it's short enough where you don't get sick of it. So it's good. Honestly, it's better. It's better than Uzi's, not as good as X's album.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I haven't really listened to it. I've heard good things about the album from the people that I listen to in the music community that review hip hop albums and stuff like that. So I'll be sure to check it out.
The best out of all the new albums, though, hip hop, is Action Bronson for sure.
Action Bronson. Yeah.
I always like Bronson's music, and this is one of his better. It's better than his last album. I don't even remember what his last album was called. This one's better though.
Okay.
It's good. You should check it out. I'm not going to go too in depth on that because it's Bronson, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So let's segue on to the next topic, which is kind of a little bit clickbait because we all know that Cardi B's album will not be the most anticipated album for anyone besides Cardi B.
And apparently Complex.
Yeah, Complex loves it.
So this topic is, we came up with it for the mere fact that Complex put out their most anticipated albums of the rest of the year. And some of them, the choices that is, were very suspect. There were some albums that have never been announced as ever coming out or that anybody was ever working on them. There were albums that don't have a day, so they might not even be this year. And then there was Cardi B. Nobody cares about her album. It's not going to sell more than 50 copies.
No.
I'm being very judgmental. She has a popular song, but really, when it comes down to it, nobody's buying Cardi B's album.
Yeah, I think it's almost. I mean, I know I've said that Uzi Vert's album wasn't too bad, but I think it kind of suffers from that, where it's a very good, catchy tune, But it just, the rest of it didn't really follow the success.
Even Uzi has more of a catalog of popular songs, though. Like, he's, like, newer, and EXO Tour Life is his smash hit.
Right.
But Cardi B literally has no other songs that were popular before this. Does she? I couldn't think of any others. I've never heard a song by her before.
No, I want to say this is maybe her first song, but...
Is it? No joke. Really?
It could be. I don't know.
It shows. It's catchy. It's just got really good production, though.
Yeah, I mean, like...
She didn't produce it. Like, she's just singing words that were probably written by somebody else, controversial. Somebody else probably wrote that for her.
Right.
And she definitely didn't produce it. So really, it's just a lady rapping over music that's not hers.
Yeah, Love and Hip Hop lady.
Is that where she's from?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about her.
Yeah, she's like a former stripper, I believe, or a former dancer. I don't want to like...
Lady of the Night, perhaps.
Yeah, Lady of the Night, turned to Love is Hip Hop, and then became a rapper.
Yikes. No, I mean, not yikes at her past career. I don't really care. But really, like, yikes that they put her on the top most anticipated albums. Like, if that's what you're looking forward to, this is an awful year for music.
Yeah.
Because that's rough.
I mean, Lord knows we're also going to get the China song. Apparently, according to Joe Budden, he said it's going to be a hit.
Is it a Rob Kardashian diss track?
It might be a Rob Kardashian diss track.
I don't know anything about that story other than that they were like married or together or whatever.
They were together and then...
I don't care. Let's not talk about this.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Yeah, but no, actually, no. I was going to say, like, well, what's your most anticipated album then? Because, we kind of clickbaited them a little bit.
Let's give them an actual answer. So, probably for me, it's a toss-up. It's either between Travis Scott's new album, Astro World, or I'm really looking forward to this is the thing though, this is like complex news. A$AP Rocky hasn't said if he's putting out an album this year.
Right.
So I can't say that one really, but that would be in my number 2, really. Because everything he puts out is good, really.
Right.
And his last album came out in 2015?
2015.
I think so. I can't remember what it was called, though. But it was really good. I really, really like that album. Now I'm spacing on the name when it comes time to talk about it. But if he puts out something this year, it's been long enough for me where I would be, like, very excited to listen to more of his music. He's an artist, though, that I can really only listen to his music. Like, his schedule that he does is good.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years for him is what I need in between projects.
Well, I feel like that's how all rappers should really do it. It's more of a 2 to 3 kind of wait period.
Yeah, it would be the proper cycle to make a good project. Like, that's what Kendrick does. He does every 2 years, right?
But, I mean, like, I understand that, well, the future model, which is, like, the fast food music, where you make it just consumable for, like, a couple of weeks of listen, and then you're on to the next project.
I just feel like there's no longevity in that, though. Not only as far as your career is concerned, because you're going to burn yourself out putting out that much music, but creatively, like, you just put out, you have no time to come up with new ideas. You just keep putting out the same thing over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think, like, even though last week I kind of hated on X's album, or not hated on it, but I gave it a low rating, I respect the fact that he can come back and, like, put out a completely different album from a lot of the music he puts out. But
right.
I shouldn't say it's completely different because he does put out some of those, like, moodier songs.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that it's not just every album is the same or every project he releases is the same, like a lot of artists now. I like that. Yeah. All right, what would you say is your most anticipated?
Well, coming more from an R&B side, I'm really looking forward to the Division album called Morning After.
Is that how you say that guy's name?
Yeah.
I honestly have always just spelled it out in DVSN. I've always said it that way. I've never listened to any of his music.
The most underrated album, September 5th, it's easily underrated because, like Complex said in their Everyday Struggle, is that, like, there's no promo built around it. The OVO doesn't really...
Is he OVO? He's an OVO artist?
Well, it's 2 people. Like, one's a producer and one's a singer.
Okay, but they're OVO.
Yeah, they're signed to OVO.
They can't be worse than Majid Jordan or whatever that.
Majid Jordan's not bad.
Not good.
I don't mind
Their
it.
album was bad. They're two people too, right?
Yeah.
I did not like their album.
That was pretty good. I mean, there's a couple songs I like from them.
Hold On, We're Going Home is the best thing they ever did, and then Drake did it better. Because that was their song, and he took it and remade it,
Right.
and it was better when he did it.
I like the song My Love.
I like Party Next Door. Out
Party
of all
Next
the
Door is
OVO people, he's my favorite.
But yeah, you should listen to Division. His album.
September 5th? That's
Yeah,
what it's called?
September 5th.
I'll check it out.
So good. It's like criminally underrated.
Oh, can I throw one sleeper pick out there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot to mention him. R&B too.
R&B, all right. Go ahead.
Trinidad Cardona.
Ooh,
If he keeps putting out music, everything I've heard from him, I love everything.
that's a good shout.
Literally every song I listen, I like him more and more. So I want his music. I want a full album. I doubt it's going to come out this year, but I want more music from him because
Yeah.
I would be more excited for that than most music.
That is a great shout.
And he's put out like 10 songs.
Yeah, he's good.
So good. This leads us into our next topic, which we mentioned earlier. There's some news that just came out about Kid Cudi and Kanye West coming out with a
Right.
project, which is pretty crazy considering last year, or was it early this year? I think it was late last year. They were
In a beef.
Yeah, they were beefing because Kid Cudi said when he went on his like Twitter tirades. He said something negative about Kanye,
Yeah.
and then I think Kanye was in a venue doing a performance, and he dissed him in his song or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy, but
rant.
really, like, if you look at their track record of music together that they make, it's always good. It's literally always good. It's their best music. In my opinion, even for Kanye, it's his best music. When he's with Kid Cudi, his best songs.
Yeah, I mean, going like to the 808s and Heartbreaks, I mean, that sound was just completely different. And
Yeah.
I just fell in love with it. I mean, it was like a very, deep, moody type of feel to it.
You can easily say that that's very influenced. Like, I think a lot of Kanye's mid 2000s, early 2000 or 2010s, that is,
Yeah.
are influenced by Kid Cudi's music.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is, honestly, you could tell me that. Like, just put Kid Cudi's voice over every song, and I would think he wrote the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy because the best song on the album is the song with Kid Cudi. In my opinion, it's called Gorgeous.
Yeah, Gorgeous.
It's the Raekwon and Kid Cudi. That's the best song on that album. I want, if they ever made a full project together, really singing the song right now.
Yeah. It's just in my head right now.
If they put a collab album out, which they supposedly said will be out December 31st, which I doubt will happen.
Probably won't happen, but
That would be my most anticipated.
yeah, I mean, that will easily change it because, that's probably Kanye West's like most prolific years was with Kid Cudi and just the sound that they've made together.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
They're both at their best when they're together, for sure. I think they're like creatively work together just so well.
mm-hmm.
So hopefully, and honestly, Kid Cudi's last album, did you listen to it?
I listened to a little
Passion,
bit of it,
Pain, and Demon Slaying?
Yeah.
It's a really good album. Compared to the like 4 albums before that, album is really good.
What was the album that was really bad? It was just...
Speed and Bullet to Heaven.
Yeah.
That
was just terrible.
Kid Cudi is easily probably in my top 5 musicians of all time.
Oh, wow.
Like, I love him. Like, I still listen to Man on the Moon 1 and 2 all the time. I even like Wizard. Did you ever listen to Wizard? That's an awful album. I like it. I really like it. But it's bad
okay.
by all critical standpoints. He's at his best, too, creatively when he's working with Kanye. And I feel like this last album shows that he honestly still has a passion for music, which I couldn't tell before that.
Yeah.
So it could be very good for both of them, and I think that if they put out an album of music that represents what they've done before, that's money.
Well, an impromptu question that I didn't really talk to you in the production meeting was, what did you if this collaboration happens between Kid Cudi and Kanye West, does that ruin any collaboration opportunities with Kanye and Drake?
No,
No.
because I feel like Kid Cudi obviously has come out and said where he was at the time when he was posting all this stuff.
I mean, there's free smoke.
Then he went to mental institution.
Yeah.
I feel like he was just in a really rough spot.
Right.
And he's obviously, I can't see Kanye reaching out, really.
Mm-hmm,
Maybe.
right.
I don't know him, obviously, but it just doesn't seem like his persona to go out and do that.
Right.
So I feel like it's probably Kid Cudi who reached out and said, hey, I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry I said those things.
Right.
Like, let's work together, you know? So I feel like it could happen with Drake. Why not? It seemed like they were good friends because they never made a song together.
No.
They just kind of like...
I think Kanye produced one song for Drake.
Or Kid Cudi?
Oh, my bad. I thought we were talking about Drake, my bad.
Because your question is like, if Kanye and Kid Cudi collab together,
right.
would that mean Drake would be out because of the Kid Cudi?
Yeah, like would Drake never make music with...
I don't think so.
Kanye.
Because I feel like Kid Cudi would do the same thing with Drake eventually. Like if he ever, wanted to, I feel like it seems like he's the kind of dude who would do that. Like, hey, I'm sorry, I was like that.
Right.
No more free smoke.
No free smoke.
Charge for the smoke. Charge for the smoke.
Charge for the smoke.
Charge for the smoke from now on, okay? But yeah, I feel like that would happen. But honestly, I wouldn't even really want it anymore.
Yeah.
If Kid Cudi and Kanye came together and did it, I would much rather have that than Drake and Kanye.
Yeah. It would be an interesting sound to hear with Drake and Kanye, but like you said, I think a Kid Cudi and Kanye West, you know what you're expecting from them.
Yeah.
So we're going to be putting that like on a higher standard than like
I almost feel the opposite. Like I feel like a Drake and Kanye album would have a higher standard.
A higher standard.
But
I guess maybe you know like what quality of like what type of music you're getting with the Kid Cudi and Kanye.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not really sure about that either because Kanye likes to change up his style a lot. He doesn't like to keep the same sound. So maybe the sound with Kid Cudi and Kanye's album would be like a very different sound. Maybe.
I could see, Kid Cudi is obviously one to try and branch out too. He did like rock albums and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that Speed and Bullet to Heaven or whatever is atrocious. So is Wizard, really, and that's a rock album too.
Right.
Or an attempt at a rock album. So really like they each seem like they want to do different stuff all the time. But their peaks as musicians was the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy era for both of them.
Right.
So let's say they just came together and made number 2. And they just said, hey, this is not just a Kanye album. This is the two of us. We're making My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy 2 by Kanye and Kid Cudi.
Right.
That album is like, that's beautiful already.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear that. And honestly, it could sound just like it. Because that album is really unique still to this point. It sounds really different from most music.
Yeah.
That's why it's Kanye's best album.
Ooh. We'll save that for another Gimmick podcast.
Another Gimmick cast coming at you. All right, let's move into the next topic. All right, next topic of discussion. Get the agenda back in front of us so we don't lose track.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk to you about some wrestling.
Okay.
This is a take 2, by the way, so just keep that in mind, fans at home.
If you see my face right now, I'm kind of a little upset.
We got a trigger warning for this guy. So what we were talking about was storytelling in wrestling, right? My favorite part of wrestling is the storytelling, which is why I haven't watched in a few years, because I felt like it was very stagnant. I always have to take a break from it. Like from 2005 till 2010, I didn't watch any of it. And then CM Punk brought me back, and I watched it for years after that. So, recently, like I talked about in the last 2 episodes, I've been watching a lot of New Japan. And I mentioned this earlier too, but I'm not a bandwagon New Japan fan. I was watching in 2012, 2013 for a little bit. Right when they started their subscription service, I had it for a little bit.
Right.
And at the time, the big feud was Okada and Tanahashi, which, in my opinion, after Omega and Okada, it's New Japan's best rivalry. Those two guys, and honestly, it's like probably the best rivalry of 2010s, really, for me in all of wrestling.
I'm trying to think.
But I wanted to ask you, right? And I'll get back to New Japan in a minute. what you think of storytelling in wrestling as a whole. Not just New Japan, but WWE, Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, any of them. Like, what do you think is your favorite type of storytelling in wrestling? And just like, why? What's your preference?
Well, I mean, I always like the New Japan stuff. I mean, you can never go wrong with that. But I still like that WWE presentation and the way that it comes off. So,
Okay.
if I had to go WWE, I'd obviously go NXT.
Yeah.
Because
Which is separate from the other two by
Yeah.
far. It's not the same.
And the reason why I'd go NXT is because the way they book their storylines are very simple at times, but they just make sense and they know how to build a feud.
Mm-hmm.
They know like logically what makes sense. Like
For sure.
when you go from like one. They also what I like about it too is that it's only an hour.
Yeah.
So you don't get like the same. You don't get them wrestling in like a tag team
yeah,
week after week or
you
like.
never had Finn Balor and Samoa Joe on tag teams.
Yeah, so it wasn't. They didn't go at each other like that. You know, you waited until the pay-per-view. That's what kind of made it special, and that's what I feel like WWE in this new WWE Network era is. They don't realize that that's what needs to happen
Yeah.
because we don't want to see these matches weeks and weeks leading into the pay-per-view because we're not going to be interested in the fight because we've already seen them fight.
Yeah.
And that's where I get frustrated with Raw and SmackDowns because they do that. And it just doesn't make any sense to me why they think like... I mean, Road Dogg says that he's probably like one of the best bookers out there.
He's a SmackDown booker?
Yeah, he's a SmackDown
No.
booker.
If you're booking Shinsuke Nakamura every week as just a regular dude, you're not a good booker.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing with the SmackDown. It's just you don't want to... Like, especially with characters like Nakamura, I thought he should be treated more like a Brock Lesnar type of guy where... He comes out only when he needs to come out. Not every week wrestling in a match against some Joe Schmo. And then the worst part is when they go to these small name towns like a South Dakota or like an Idaho. You know, no disrespect there, but the crowds there aren't really like hyped up for these guys because they only know like the main guys that they grew up with like in the early 2000s, like the John Cenas, the Randy Ortons.
Yeah, you gotta save your like megastars. Like Shinsuke Nakamura is a megastar, and the only person they book right now like a megastar is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But they have easily like 4 or 5 dudes they could do it with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is just a shame because like, how much more important does Finn Balor being on the show become if you only see him once every 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Once a month or twice a month. And at that, he only wrestles once a month.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wrestling in house shows. He's not wrestling on Monday Night Raw. Nobody cares about that, you know? It's like the Nakamura Randy Orton match on SmackDown. Let's go into that.
Yeah.
That was like it was a good match.
Yeah, it was great.
Like I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I can't tell you a full review. But it was good. But that shouldn't be the way you book Nakamura. He's an international superstar who has like the charisma of 15 Randy Ortons. I'm sorry, Randy Orton, but you haven't been good in 10 years, you know?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So if you book your dudes like they're important, they become important.
Mm-hmm.
Not a regular SmackDown show against a dude who everybody's sick of, and then he loses to Jinder Mahal the next week or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, I mean that's just the frustrating thing about that. But I mean, just going back to NXT, you know, they did it right. I mean, the way that they made me care about Sami Zayn was like, and the way that he wrestles as well because he's a great wrestler. It just makes me, you know, it makes like from going from oh he's an okay dude to like wow I'm like really invested in this guy. I hope WWE does something with him because he is the underdog from the the Underground. I think that's his shtick.
Underdog from the Underground? I've never heard that, but I believe it.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's just very surprising to me that we just get this kind of, I mean, going on talking about SmackDown, it's just, you know, he lost to Aiden English on a roll-up, which apparently the roll-up is the most powerful move in the WWE.
Wasn't it the pop-up powerbomb?
No, this is this week. So last week...
He lost clean to Aiden English?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, I don't know if you call it like a distraction roll-up, but that's what they're going
Oh my gosh, that's just like a shame. Like Sami Zayn, his booking in NXT was genius.
Yeah.
He was everybody's favorite character until Kevin Owens came on, and then they were both everybody's favorite characters.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just don't see how you take these dudes who have so much potential and then just suck the life out of all of them. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the only dude that's come from another organization or was popular before the WWE that I can think of in recent years that came to the WWE, like the main roster, and lived up to their potential is AJ Styles. He's the only dude. Yeah. AJ Styles is the phenomenal one, though, so he's almost in a league of his own. But, like, I don't see how you take dudes like Sami Zayn, and even Kevin Owens hasn't lived up to his full potential.
I mean, they kind of butchered that little storyline, but, you know.
Because they could have, like, they've had classics before in the indie circuit. They had classics. But you put that on the main stage of a WWE show, and you have a match for the ages.
Right.
But somehow you butcher it. Mm-hmm. Back to what I was saying earlier, my complaint with the WWE right now, and we talked about this a little bit earlier before we were recording, was, and maybe you disagree, I think you do, I think there's a serious lack of true heels in the main roster. There's no dudes, like, the truest heel you have is Roman Reigns, and he's not trying to be a heel. Everybody hates him because he wants to be loved so much. Like, there's no real heels. You say Samoa Joe, though, right?
I say Samoa Joe, just the way that, you know, his demeanor, just, like, very nasty. The way, like, his fighting style, he comes across as, like, a heel. But, I mean, like, I still love the guy, but I think the way that he fights comes across as a heel. I think the WWE's problem, though, is, like, creating a very genuine baby face. That's their biggest problem. They can't create... Because, I mean, like, before, you know, they made AJ Styles a heel. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Kevin Owens and...
But even that, they love... People love those dudes. They don't boo for those guys. Like, the way that a true heel is supposed to be booed. You know? Like, I hate to bring it back to New Japan, but people, like, boo Kenny Omega. Yeah. They love him, but they still boo him. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, nobody boos for AJ Styles. Nobody boos Kevin Owens. They're all like, yes, thank you. Finally a dude who actually has, like, charisma out on the thing. And my counterpoint to you is I think, like, the way that WWE writes their heels currently and have been, they're written more like bullies than they are like dastardly evil characters. Mm-hmm. And to me, like, I don't really care about a bully so much as I want to see, like, somebody who's actually, like, a bad guy.
Right.
Like, Samoa Joe is a bully to me. He just comes out and his fighting style is to bully you. It's the same thing with Brock Lesnar. He, like, bullies people. But even then, they don't get booed. Like, you need a character who's, like, they are degrading to the other wrestlers. They cheat, you know? Not even necessarily cheat, but they're just, like, a dirty fighter. Like, I feel like there's nobody in the WWE that gets boos for the right way.
I think if you put them with the right person, like, I know with the I don't know if you were watching at the time, but the Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens stuff.
I didn't watch that.
Okay, so so they were friends. That was the storyline. They were best friends. Both getting booed because Chris Jericho was a heel at the time.
Okay.
And so they had like a little festival of friendship type of deal. And
Festival of Friendship. I like that already.
Yeah, you gotta actually watch it. He actually gets like a list, like a list. Like, you just made the list. Mm-hmm. He gets a list over, like Jericho, because
I've heard of that. I heard about this.
So only Jericho could get that over. But anyway, going back to the Festival of Friendship, there was a little betrayal, almost like the Red Wedding type of style, where Kevin Owens gave him a list, and he's on the bottom. Only the viewers at home could see it. It said the list of Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. And and Chris Jericho said, "Why is my name on the list?" And then Kevin Owens just beats the crap out of Jericho. So that makes him like a true, genuine heel.
Yeah, that's a heel move.
So
I like it, but how long ago was that?
Just this last WrestleMania.
Okay, like, to me, like
leading up to the WrestleMania.
Jinder Mahal is supposed to be a heel too, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to boo for him in a good way.
No, that's the other thing with Jinder Mahal is just I would have rather had him built up to like a U.S. title. You know, work his way up to the U.S. title, get over that way. Because I mean, I'm sure like people would cheer or would try and get Jinder over because he's not really fighting in place for like AJ Styles or Kevin Owens, like, you know, the top guys that have been built up properly.
I can see it. Like Jinder Mahal is like kind of Roman Reigns-y. Like he just kind of got pushed straight to the top.
And that's what kind of frustrates me about like who they decide to give the titles to in some aspects.
Yeah.
It never goes to the best wrestler or who's ever hot, or not who's ever hot, but like they never give it to the best wrestler. Like clearly AJ Styles is the best wrestler. Well, in some people's opinion.
I'd say, he probably is though. Right now.
Yeah, but like in most people's opinion, he is, but he doesn't have the main belt. He has the U.S. belt. Like, why is that the case?
It doesn't make any sense.
Like, it should have been the other way around, where Jinder has the U.S. belt, is a dastardly heel. He could easily make the promo about like how Americans don't like him by having the U.S. belt.
Yeah.
I mean, that storyline makes more sense with him having the U.S. belt and not the main belt.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. And I think like the belts in WWE mean nothing.
Yeah.
Really. Like they treat all their belts like absolute rubbish. You know, they're all like props. They're more props than anything. They're not literally like, you have become such a proficient wrestler, we want to give you our ultimate championship. That's not what it is anymore. It used to be that. It's not that anymore.
Yeah.
So like the championships as a whole are almost like inconsequential to storytelling at this point. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't matter where Jinder Mahal is or where AJ Styles is. It's more just like, who do people care about watching? People clearly care more about watching AJ Styles than Jinder Mahal. And it's just like, even on a level of just Jinder Mahal versus Nakamura, which is the current feud right now, which isn't even a feud. It's not booked as a feud. Like, it could easily be that, where Jinder Mahal comes out and he's like, American fans don't like me, that's why you guys never root for me. But Nakamura is definitely not American. He's straight from Japan. Yeah. And he could be like, guess what? They all root for me every week. Mm-hmm. So you're just making up an excuse. There's an easy storyline to go down. Yeah. But they choose not to do it. It's like, let's do these silly one-on-one for a championship opportunity matches, rather than Nakamura is clearly the person that everybody who watches SmackDown wants to see win. Yeah. At the moment. Is AJ Styles on SmackDown? Yeah, he's still on SmackDown. I guess it would be him and Nakamura. But like, why wouldn't those two dudes be in a feud together? Mm-hmm. And make it a long-term feud? That's the point I wanted to make with this story, or our topic as a whole, is what the hell? There's a bug on my face. There's no long-term booking. Right. Like, storylines don't matter for more than until the next pay-per-view. Yeah, I don't care, you know? Yeah, I mean, not to interrupt you, but I mean, that's kind of like what the thing is with these pay-per-views. Or that's why I don't like this WWE Network era, is because basically we're just building up to the pay-per-views instead of like long-term booking, like you said. I mean, long-term booking in WWE doesn't exist. It's like a long-term booking would be 2 months. Like two pay-per-views would be long-term. Yeah, which I'm praying and hoping that they don't ruin the Nakamura and AJ Styles meetup at WrestleMania, because I think that feud is money. That feud, if you tell me that I'm going to see Nakamura versus AJ Styles at a WrestleMania, I would pay big bucks to go see that match. Even better, though, can I just throw one out? This is the dream. I think this is most people's dream. It wouldn't happen this year. It would be 2018. They get Kenny Omega. I mean, of course, that's like obviously going to be the... Then, triple threat, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, all the past leaders of the Bullet Club, feuding as a triple threat. That'd be incredible. Yeah. Or even just Kenny Omega versus AJ Styles. I don't care. I just want to see Kenny Omega in the WWE, because he's better than everybody else. Other than AJ Styles and Okada. Those are the three dudes. I don't care about anybody else. Like Brock Lesnar. I love Brock Lesnar. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of the way he wrestled. It's just like suplex, F5. It's like it's the same thing. Like how you can build him as a monster who comes out and dominates everybody. didn't he lose in like 13 seconds to Bill Goldberg last year?
He's a legend. You don't make fun of Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg is 50.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me he's a monster. And you can't tell me that a dude who has the same moveset for 15 years is a monster. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does a dude like Seth Rollins not just come up with some strategy to defeat him? Like, he could. You could tell that story super easily.
Yeah, but, you know, WWE, the writers, they're not very smart.
They're daft.
They're very daft.
Bunch of cucks.
Some cucks.
CWE. Cuck Wrestling Entertainment.
Cuck Wrestling Entertainment.
Or no, wait, what is it? Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment?
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is. Whatever. Cucks. All cucks.
All cucks.
All right, let's move on from wrestling. That was a long discussion, but it was one we had to have.
All right, guys, come back from a little break. What we're going to be talking about here is a little bit of a little controversy where we got the FIFA 18 player ratings. I know Peter over here is a little bit triggered with one of them.
A lot of them. So, you know, let's start off with your guys. What are you triggered about? Well, let's start off with Tottenham boys, right? I'm triggered, all right?
Okay.
We start off, I'm just going to go with the one I got right in front of me. Harry Kane. Listed at 53, which is compared to 48 for Lukaku. Mind you, they're both rated 86, so they're the same rating. So they're almost like picking favorites, like who they actually prefer, right?
Man United fan.
But how, after 2 years, as the Golden Boot in the Premier League, is Harry Kane not higher rated than Lukaku? I just don't see how it's like even factually close to their real statistics, you know? Like Harry Kane has been better with with just the same amount of attacking help around him. Man, that's probably not true. I was probably overstating there because he's got Eriksen, Dele Alli.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not true. But still, I feel like you have to give him the highest rated striker compared to him and Lukaku. Probably not more than Aguero yet.
Aguero.
But you gotta put him ahead of Lukaku.
Yeah, I mean,
that's favoritism in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Lukaku's rating is about right, and so is Harry Kane's. I mean, they're both 86s.
I think Lukaku's is right. I think he's an 86, but I think Harry Kane's an 87, at least. I think you put him at 89, it would be fine, too.
Yeah. My theory about this FIFA that we're going to have next year is that, I think a lot of people talked about it, was we're going to see more. The reason why these player ratings are low right now is because they're anticipating informs to be coming in to the game, so they don't want the golden card to just be as good as an inform, so people will spend more money on the game.
Yeah.
Because if you just have like last year, for example, you just had a Martial that was just with decently good stats as a inform.
Yeah, just a slight improvement.
Just a slight improvement between a different striker.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that's just FIFA money conspiracies, and I think they're all true, really, for the most part. I mean, just from a business perspective, it makes sense to maximize your financial gain from every player you add into the game. People want Lukaku's best card. People want Harry Kane's best card. So lowering their rating to give them a better inform obviously makes sense, but I feel like you're giving them their base stats, at least put them closer to what they really represent in real life, right? And some of the choices in there are kind of suspect to me. I think you have another big one you wanted to talk about.
Well, the only thing I really wanted to talk about here was just the wording that EA uses in their in describing the players for these top 100. So, for example, here with 56, Karim Benzema, the French forward makes up for his lack of speed and physicality with top-class 84 shooting ability and 82 dribbling. His deadly ability in front of goal has played a key role in Real Madrid's recent success. So first off the bat, the only thing I'm going to say is 82 dribbling is decent at best. It's not anywhere near...
It's not that great.
It's like a train, as the Penta said in his video that I watched today.
Yeah.
And then then we go to Isco, where they say, by far one of the most technically gifted players in the world, Isco's 89 dribbling ability allows him to pick up the ball from deeper positions, and open up space for teammates. And here's the key part. With his respectable 83 shooting score, also makes him a threat.
Trigger.
So I don't understand, so 83 is respectable, but 84 is world class. How does that make any sense?
And then they make no mention of Harry Kane's 87 shooting. They just say, hey, it's pretty good. Served him well. Hey, that's pretty good.
So that's the only thing that I just don't understand. Like, they need to do a better job of explaining this stuff.
Yeah.
Or not even just adding, or just looking at the actual card before they write the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so I feel like it's almost rushed. Like, the writing on the players is rushed. Like, it seems like either repetitive or just not, I just don't agree with some of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the player choices, ratings, are just kind of silly. Like, Thomas Muller had a pretty bad season last year,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still the same rating as he was. You can downgrade players too. Then you have, let's see, there was another one I just saw. Fabregas didn't have that great of a season last year either. He was okay. He definitely shouldn't have stayed an 86 rated player.
Right.
I just feel it's almost lazy, you know? Mm-hmm. But then James Rodriguez gets a downgrade to 86, which I think we knew was coming.
Yeah.
But how does he get a downgrade? He's still better than Fabregas is, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just poor ratings. I just don't think they did a very good job or put in a lot of time, that is.
Also, another one that confused me as well is we're going to the... so we have Marco Reus here with stats that look like he should be a 90.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, meanwhile, we have Ribéry, who has stats that somehow equal to an 86. So I don't understand how comparing Marco Reus to Ribéry, who are both in the play on the left side of the field, they both are the same overall, but Ribéry seems a lot worse than Marco Reus. But Marco Reus has the stats to make him seem like he's going to be a very OP player in this FIFA.
I mean, he always is, but it is their ratings never make sense. The number on the top left, your overall rating for your player, is never representative of the ratings underneath,
right.
The base card stats. It just doesn't make sense. Let's do Sami Khedira, 99th rated player in the game, 84.
Okay.
64 pace, 74 shooting, 80 passing, 76 dribbling, 80 defending, 84 physical. That's the same as an 81 rated card, you know? Those stats are not very good. I just don't see how they came up with these stats. They're kind of whack, all right? And I'm calling you out, EA. I'm triggered.
Yeah, I mean...
This is Ethan Bradbury.
Oh
Sorry.
My God. I'm going to have to cut that
Dele
out.
Alli, 84 rated, dog? What? Other than Conte, he's the best midfielder in the Prem. Yeah. Who? Name one.
I'm trying to think of one.
Name one. You can't name one. Dele Alli is the second best midfielder.
No, I think De Bruyne is better.
Maybe. That might be true. Maybe he's the third best player. But how do you put him at an 84? He's an 86.
What was his overall last year? 81?
80 at the start of the game and then 82 in the January upgrades. But he's an 86. I just don't see how you take a player who's at the top of their game in a full season, 2 seasons in a row. Dele Alli is easily a top 5 midfielder in the Premier League, and he's 84 rated compared to other dudes.
Right.
How is he not better than Fabregas?
I mean, to be fair, Fabregas probably started from a higher point.
Yeah, of course he did.
And then going lower that way. Well, meanwhile, Dele Alli's climbing up. So, I mean, he's still a young player, and I think the reason why, like I said earlier, the reason why the players are so low...
Are you defending EA?
I'm not defending EA, but...
Got one of those guys on the podcast.
But I understand it makes sense, though, for what EA's perspective is that you don't want to make these players too overpowered, because then what's the point of spending the 250,000 coins you need for an inform when you can just buy the 10,000 to 20,000 player card
Yeah.
that's going to be good for the whole year, where you don't even need a team of the season. The only reason why you grab those kind of cards is just because you like the look of it.
Yeah. Last thing I want to talk about on these player ratings. No Hyunmin Son.
I think he's coming in. I think he's coming.
You think he's in the top 40 players?
In FIFA and the way he's been playing, yeah, I think so.
I was going to make a joke.
Or you're going to make a joke.
I was going to say, if I don't see him in the top 10, I'm going to be disappointed. There's
10.
no way he's in the top 100.
I think he's the top 100. I mean, if you were going to put...
I love him. He's my favorite player in the whole world. There's no way you put him in the top 40.
I mean, he had a great season.
Yeah, but so did Dele Alli and Harry Kane, and they're both 84 and 86. That'd be a crazy jump.
I guess you're right.
Just
I
based
didn't really think about it that way. I didn't think about like the rating wise. I just thought,
Oh, in game he's like a top tier player, but
That's what I was
really
thinking.
he's not going to be top 40, which is a shame, a damn shame.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Some of these players, I don't understand how they made it in. I mean,
Falcao,
Falcao did have a good season, but like I guess he rebounded.
he had a good season, but good God, what?
Anyway, let's transition from this trigger
Mbappe's number one.
99 overall.
99 rated Mbappe after 98 rated Neymar.
I will be excited to get his his transfer card? Oh, ones to watch, my bad. I'm excited to get his ones to watch card.
That is going to be good. Mbappe lotion. Ones to watch.
Lotion.
Ones to watch. Mbappe lotion. They should spell his last name lotion on the card.
And actually have like a lotion as his picture.
Yeah, just like a Jergens lotion bottle.
Jergens lotion.
That'd be funny. That would actually be a dope card. I would pay $1 million points for that. All right, let's move on.
So we got some video games.
First,
huh?
yeah, let's talk video games. I was actually going to jump the gun, but let's not. Let's talk some video games. You've been playing a new game?
Yeah, I mean, of course, from a gamer bro perspective, I've been playing Madden. I've actually been having a little bit of fun with the Ultimate Team stuff. It's really easy to make coins with the solo challenges that they give you, but the mode that I've been having fun with me and my friends, excluding him because he's a cuck.
I'm no bro. I'm no gamer bro.
He's a gamer cuck. is Mud Squads.
It's gonna be my new Xbox Live gamer tag.
The gamer tag.
The gamer cuck.
The gamer cuck.
I like it.
But anyway, yeah, just the Mud Squads has been a really fun game mode where you take one person's offense, one person's defense, and then the other one is the moocher who brings the uniforms and the coach. So, it's a lot of fun. Me and my friends have been playing it a lot. It's actually kind of challenging, especially when you're the quarterback.
I'm bringing Lovie Smith.
But anyway, what are you
That does actually sound fun. I'm playing a newer game, not super new. I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Came out a few months ago.
Okay.
PlayStation 4 exclusive RPG. It's really good. I mean, not telling you anything most people don't know already at this point. Like, it's one of the highest rated games of the year. It's really, really good. Like, the graphics are incredible. And so far, the story is pretty cool, too. The gameplay is definitely the shining star of the game. It's really, really fun. Like, it's just, like, so smooth controlling the character. Yeah, it's a great game. The story's kind of cool. Like, it's just, like, it's not necessarily my ideal storyline.
Yeah.
It's, like, almost like caveman Vikings in a future world, which is cool, but it's still just not necessarily my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. But I'm loving it. It's really good. It is bumming me out though that I'm not playing Destiny 2. That for sure is making me sad. It's making me a sad panda. Cut that out. Cut that out.
Yeah, we'll
cut that out.
I'm gonna keep the laughs in. The sad panda.
No, you can't leave the laughs in and cut out the sad panda. We're laughing at me.
I might just keep that in.
Just keep the whole part in. Fuck it, I don't care. I'm the gamer cuck after all. Of course I'm going to make a sad panda joke. That really was a dark moment in my life. You guys just witnessed. Yeah, but Destiny 2 is making me sad. Not panda-like, just sad.
Just sad.
Because it looks really good, and it's supposed to be really good. Stop laughing. It's over.
Let me take a drink.
But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is good. Whew. Destiny 2, hopefully by the end of the month. I'm actually going to try and do some streams of Destiny 2. Yeah, I'm going to try and stream on our Twitch account when it comes time when I get the game. Let's move on. Last topic. First and foremost, I'm gonna start off. Yeah. Apology from myself.
Apologize.
For everyone that watches our channel, that watches the Dragon Ball Super reviews. Not reviews. They're not reviews anymore. They're discussions.
Yeah.
I don't review things. I just tell you if I like it or not. But I'm sorry I didn't put one out this week. I actually didn't watch the episode until Monday, which is crazy because I watch it every week on Saturday night, but I didn't watch until Monday. And I've been very sick for the last few days, so I didn't make a video about the episode. So we're going to talk about it right now. We're going to talk about Dragon Ball Super episode 106. This episode, controversially so, as stated by this gentleman, is what?
I said it was, I believe, the lamest episode out of the whole Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, I think it is.
It's not. There's some really bad episodes.
I mean, there's some bad episodes, but like for a Tournament of Power episode, I expected a little bit more from...
Compared to the Tournament of Power, it is probably the weakest episode. But compare it to some of the stuff, like the Resurrection F episodes, some of those were some trash.
Some of them were trash, but...
Then you have the Potafu arc. Do you even remember that? That was episodes.
I try to get that out of my head.
That was episodes 43 to 45 or 46.
Yeah, those.
Good lord, it was awful. Some of the worst stuff they've ever done.
Felt like some filler to me.
I mean, it was filler. It was trash. It was absolute wank rubbish. But this episode, in my opinion, wasn't that bad. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna give it the stellar thumbs up I did. I almost said review again. I didn't though. It's not. I'm not gonna give it 2 thumbs up like the last 5-6 weeks. It was a little weak, especially like the way I liked the way that they eliminated Tien. Kind of like I thought him using his cloning technique was pretty cool, and how he used it in regards to the episode was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's Tien. Like honestly, nobody really cared about him being there to begin with. I like Tien too, but Dragon Ball Super, like he's so inconsequential. Like we didn't need him to begin with. You could have just eliminated him off screen, and nobody would have cared.
Yeah. The only issue I had with this episode, really, like in that particular moment, was that we saw Burison really get mad at Tien for getting eliminated so fast. Meanwhile, he's mad at Krillin for getting eliminated so fast.
Yeah, but Krillin went out like an idiot, though. Krillin got eliminated by Frost, who is going to be the focus of the next few episodes. We'll talk about that in a second, though. But Krillin went out kind of stupid. And to be fair, Krillin is much stronger than Tien. He could have gone longer in the tournament. Yeah. Like, as far as their power levels are concerned, and especially after seeing Krillin fight Super Saiyan Blue Goku, which he was scaled way back, but he still fought him and kind of kept up for the most part. It makes sense that he would be mad at Turillin, as he called him. He called him the wrong name. That's so funny. But yeah, Tien, he's out. That episode, the one thing, my big complaint with it that was kind of goofy was why did they call it Death Match?
I don't know.
Death Battle or whatever it was.
I know. It kind of.
They didn't kill anybody.
No, I think
there was no threat of death.
No.
I don't know why they called it that. I thought it was a little silly. I mean, the fact that he's a sniper is kind of like, okay, he could blow somebody's head off, whatever, right?
Yeah.
There's no like. That guy did. Literally, he shot the one doctor who was actually kind of funny too. The guy who's like a little boar or whatever.
Yeah.
He looked like the Arkansas. The Arkansas mascot, the Razorback.
Yeah.
He looked like that dude. But like he shot that dude, and then they literally were like, "Oh yeah, he's fine. He's breathing. He's just knocked out." It's like it's not a death match. Like he's not killing anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was kind of silly. It was a good episode though.
Yeah, I mean the only thing maybe this is just petty for me, was
It's probably gonna be petty.
It's just like when Goku and Vegeta were just throwing rocks at the guy that was reflecting.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny, but to me, it's like, couldn't they just go up to him and just beat him up and throw him out?
Well, that's the funny writing. Like, you have arguably, like, 2 of the 5 strongest dudes in the entire Dragon Ball universe.
Right.
And the only thing that their stupid monkey brains could come up with to do was to throw big rocks at this dude rather than just fly at him and beat him up. Like, that was funny. I don't know if they actually meant it that way, but that's funny. If you think of it that way.
Okay, I didn't really think of it that way.
Because they're like stupid Saiyans. They're like kind of monkeys, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They are monkeys. So, like, their brains, their feeble brains working only to the point that they can think of throwing a rock is brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's Toei. They probably didn't mean it like that. The other thing about this episode is it's just like one of the last couple episodes before things get really good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So it's kind of just like biding your time, you know? I'm more anticipating at this point, well, as far as that episode was concerned, fly in my face. I was more interested in looking at the preview for the next week than I was for the episode, which has never happened to me. But I just...
Do you get it?
I got it. And I slapped my eyeball. We're leaving that in. Ow. Quick cut there. Back to some Dragon Ball Super talk. This is our last little bit of discussion for this episode of the Gimmick Cast. Just wanted to talk about the preview for next week's episode. Shows some heavy Frost action.
Yeah.
Possible callback to my review I did. Discussion.
Not a review.
Not a review. Slash that out. Cut it. Discussion I did for episode 105, the Master Roshi episode, where I said Master Roshi should have died. I've read some other people agree with me and just agree as a whole that probably should have happened.
Right.
I think that they're going to do it.
I think so too. That's what it looks
The
like.
preview looks like they're going to do it, which to me is like, let's bring it to wrestling. It's like weird booking where you had this perfect opportunity to do it, and now you're coming back to it like an episode or 2 episodes later. I think it's kind of weird, but at the same time, it is also like it prepares people for what's going to happen, you know? So one half of me wants to say, hey, you should have just killed him in the first place. That would have been great storytelling, because then it sets up this really crazy dynamic for Goku for the rest of the tournament. But then the other half of me is like, I like it, you know? And the stuff with Frost that they showed looks so good. It looks so good. I'm so glad they're finally going to go back to Frost and Frieza, hopefully.
I know, because we haven't heard from them in a while, so
They just show like a fucking picture of him every once in a while.
Yeah,
that's all we see. Like, I want to know what Frieza is doing. He's the third strongest, he could even be the strongest dude on Universe 7's team.
I know. I want to see him like.
For all we know, his true Golden Frieza form that we saw is more powerful than anything Goku and Vegeta have right now.
Right.
And mind you, spoiler, we know Goku's going to get his new transformation, which is probably going to put him ahead of Frieza again.
Mm-hmm.
But Frieza is probably the second strongest or first strongest guy at this point in the tournament on their team. So how have we not seen him fight anybody who's actually good? He's just been like finger death beaming people in the wings, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we need more, you know? So I hope, honestly, I would love them to do just, and keep in mind, we don't know any spoilers other than the big Goku transformation one. I don't know if you do.
I mean, that's it, really.
I don't read any spoilers. I have people who I know who do. I just don't want to see them.
Yeah.
But I would love to see, like, episodes 107, 108 be just Frieza and Frost episodes, where it's just them, and then Goku and Vegeta are, like, Vegeta especially, even more of a side character now than he already is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see them as side characters like we had with Master Roshi.
Yeah.
And even to some extent TN in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give Frost one episode, give Frieza another episode, and then do a 3-episode mini arc where 109 is the 2 of them together. Right. You know? Because I don't think they're going to be, like, friends. Like, most people think they're going to team up. I think they will for a little bit, but they're both too evil to stay on the same team together. Yeah,
probably. I'm assuming Frieza will probably kill Frost.
You think
That's
so?
why I think so.
What if Frost has like a true, like, he learns how to do the Golden Frost or some equivalent of that?
I'm sure they'll add that too.
They'll probably throw it.
They'll probably throw that into Frost just to give him more intrigue. But I think would be curious. I think I've seen other people talk about it. was the so if Master Roshi does die,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say oh my god, I'm gonna be like such a cuck because I don't know the names of the two
Zeno-sama?
Yeah, Zeno.
I think I add the Sama. It's just Zeno.
Yeah, Zeno. Do you think Zeno would be okay with it?
Like a rule change?
Like a rule change.
It depends on how it happens. Like, I think so. I'm going to give you my prediction. All
Okay.
right. I think that the Master Roshi dying is going to be the thing that Goku gets his new power up from, his new transformation. I think Frost and Frieza together are going to kill him, or something along those lines.
Right.
And it's going to. I kind of hope it's not this, but I think Goku's going to get super angry and transform into his new form. And I think Zeno is going to be like, or the Grand Priest is going to be, hey, you guys are out. Like, you just killed a competitor. And Goku's going to be like,
no,
you're not eliminating these two dudes. I'm going to beat the shit out of both of them. You know? So I think that's how it's going to happen. Like, I think if anybody could make a rule change with Zeno, it would be Goku, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think just them changing the rule, again, without any explanation as to why they're changing the rule, other than, oh, it's interesting, is like completely
a lame cop out.
I mean, it just takes the whole, like, the rules to this point have already been inconsequential, but that would make them even less of a factor.
Mm-hmm.
It would just make all those episodes a waste of time. So I would like to see that happen, where Goku's like, hey,
just keep him in.
Keep him in. I'm gonna beat that ass.
Yeah,
I'm gonna beat some ass. I hope that doesn't make Goku transform.
No, I
don't think it's going to, because I think he's gonna get it during his fight with Jiren, because I think he's actually gonna fight him in Super Saiyan Blue.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
Frieza got Goku to go to Super Saiyan, so why couldn't he make him achieve another level of Super Saiyan?
Maybe another kind of prediction is like maybe that like they want, or they get him that angry, and then Jiren sees that like anger is like a sign to like go in and kind of
take Goku on,
like get him.
He's like, he sees Goku at his full power finally.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, this is the dude I want to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm retconning something. I do know another spoiler. The episode for October 8th, I think, or October 7th, is an hour-long episode.
Yeah.
And that is supposedly when Jiren and Goku are going to start fighting. So that, timeline-wise, would make sense. Because by the time this little Frost Frieza thing is over with, or coming to a close, would make sense for Jiren to come in and him and Goku to start fighting.
Right.
That's so crazy, though, that we're this far into the Tournament of Power and it's still a month away that we're going to see the transformation.
It's ridiculous.
I love Dragon Ball so much. It's so funny to me. I just love it. It's like a troll. It's like the ultimate troll show. Because it's like so good, but then the time is just like suffer through these weeks of
I know. There's trolling. I don't think there's any Super this week, is there? Like they're taking that week off and then next week they come back?
Is that a real thing?
I think so. I don't think... I want to say it's not coming back this week.
You can't tell me that's true. Cut! Dragon Ball Super. I want to see spoilers though.
Just do like release date or something.
Air date. Look at that face. That's so cool. That September 17th.
Yeah, so next week.
I have a week. Another week to wait.
Yeah, so you better come up with some.
Whoa.
Better come up with some good video
September
ideas.
17th. We're doing a major episode. I hope that means they're putting an incredible amount of effort into the animation.
I think so, because I think, not to spoil anything, but I want to say some of the, you know, when they do that One Piece Dragon Ball thing, I think I heard from one of the people that were subscribed to on Fusion Corp was that some of the animators from One Piece are going to be coming over to the Dragon Ball team.
I don't know what to think of that. I've never watched One Piece, so I don't know what the animation is like. But I wouldn't be surprised. I think they kind of cross pollinate a lot as far as their work, like their animation is concerned. But yeah, it would be. I hope it's just the effort. The week off is going towards the hour-long special, which I'm sure it is because they're putting out 2 episodes in 1 week. That makes sense. I'd like to see it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, guys, that's it for us this week. Fusion Corp, Gimmick Cast number 3. Still looking for a better name. If you're watching and you have a better name, please tell us. If you don't, the Gimmick Cast is going to stick, and that's actually going to be the name. And I would be a little disappointed.
You'd be a little disappointed.
I'd be a little disappointed. I'd have to start another podcast with a better name on my own. I'm just kidding. That's not happening. But I don't have time for 2 podcasts a week. But thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, you like what we're talking about, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think. If you like hearing one thing more than another, if you like certain thoughts that we didn't go in depth enough on, just tell us. Maybe we'll do another video. We're looking for ideas. Anyway, guys, this is Ethan Bradbury coming at you live. Peace, Doug.
Peace.